Hi, I'm Tyler, performance coach and sprint coordinator for Revolution Sports Performance. So basically the origin of Speed Freaks is basically just wanted to give the guys another service to help further performance. You know, as far as the overall baseball community, there's a lot of long, slow distance running, basically training like cross-country runners. And that's kind of the opposite of how the sport's played. The sport is played in very short duration, max effort sprints, throws, swings, that kind of thing. So being trained the wrong way, more or less, so I wanted to give them another opportunity to train that top end max effort stimulus on top of just getting faster in itself, but you know that carryover should lead to higher throwing velocities, higher exit velocities. But basically I just have a deep-rooted desire in speed. I always kind of recognize that the fastest guys on the field are usually the biggest problems. They're the ones that you got to worry about the most. So I wanted to create as many of those guys that caused worry in other teams as possible. Why I'm so passionate about speed training is kind of growing up, it sounds kind of corny, but being one of the smaller guys, you had to be fast to kind of make an impact on whatever game we were playing. So it was kind of always one of those things for me that I took pride in being one of the fastest kids on the playground. And so that kind of started the fire there. And then as going up through high school and playing college football, you realize that the fastest guys are often the biggest playmakers and the ones making the most noise. So being able to then learn the science behind sprinting, the why behind sprinting and how important it is, and then being able to give that to these guys is a great deal of joy for me. I love seeing the guys hit PRs, how excited they get when they run 20 miles per hour, when they hit a new PR in general, and they figure something out technique-wise. It's a big moment of pride for me. So there's a lot of debate of acceleration versus top-end speed and which one is more important. And it's definitely sport. There's a sport context to it. Obviously some sports are more acceleration driven as opposed to top-end speed driven. But what it really boils down to is if someone has a higher top-end speed, let's say someone runs 20 miles per hour versus someone who runs 18 miles per hour. Every subsequent miles per hour for the person that runs 20 is going to be easier to obtain. So kind of by default, their acceleration is going to be better. So the whole argument of why you need to train acceleration far more than you need to do max velocity doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, because if you're really fast, getting to 12 miles per hour doesn't really do a whole lot for me if that's near your top end speed. Whereas if you can accelerate almost as fast and you can accelerate up to 16, that's a way better result than someone who starts to top out at 12, 13, 14 miles per hour. So it's also the overall stimulus that comes with it, right? The max effort sprinting is going to be the biggest stress to your CNS that you're ever going to get, and there's really nothing that compares to it. So if you can get that, it's going to be better than any acceleration training you'll ever get. So our pitchers are also one of our regular attendees, or they often have a lot of sprint training in their workouts. There's the old adage of you got to run long distances. It helps you, go deeper into games and that kind of stuff. But last time I checked, being able to run, a 5K doesn't exactly help you throw strikes and get outs and go deeper into games. So that's never made sense. Pitching also isn't a steady state, aerobic activity. It's a 1 rep, typically max effort event where you usually get, anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds of rest in between reps. So if you kind of do the math on that, it usually adds up with max effort sprinting or max effort jumps, that kind of stuff. So with our pitchers, maybe the technique work isn't so much as important, as long as they get kind of the basics of that, but it's the max effort stimulus of the sprint, that helps the CNS get a little bit more coordinated, helps it fire a little bit faster. Again, assuming strength and technique should yield us, higher throwing velocities and that kind of stuff.